I just got home late from work. We had our karaoke night tonight. It went pretty nice. And yeah, now we're going to start the live stream. Tonight's topic, what I feel like we all need to talk about as collectors is when is it time to abandon ship? When is it time to sell off the collection? When is it time to grow up and be an adult and take absolutely fucking ridiculous gains and lock in, right? Not even investor bro type shit. Like really just lock in, sell off stuff that you're way, 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 way up on and lock in profits so that they're real, right? Profits, right? We're all profiting off of the hobby. It's time that we talk about, when is the right time for us to unload, right? Right now, dude, there's all crazy prices. Vendors playing hot potato. People all think they're fucking Pokemon vendor gurus, flipping on Instagram. Um, Luckily, not everybody is making content. Luckily, this is still a safe space where I can continue to make content and feel like I might stand out in the crowd. But everyone is selling right now. Everyone is selling, everyone is vending, everyone is flipping, and everything is just exponentially rising in price. You know, there is the video that I made a video today. Yo, what's good, TBC? What's good, Ray? Work was pretty good. Work was pretty good. Sling a couple drinks. Made like 90 bucks in cash tips. I'm pretty happy about it. It's a light Monday. Um, but yeah, I feel like I made a video today with like Cody Sanchez. I don't know what the fuck her name was, but some influencer, some Instagram influencer was talking about how like Pokemon is just cardboard, right? It's all who is the next idiot who's gonna buy this stuff, right? And I disagree with that, right? I think a lot of us get triggered when we hear people talk about our beloved hobby that way, but there's some truth in that too. We need to understand that it is just cardboard. And we're letting everybody, in the space, myself included, right? I've talked about vintage, but, you know, that was when prices were very different on PSA 10 cards and, PSA 9 vintage grail cards and even modern. Like everything was just a couple months ago a lot cheaper. And I think I'm super bullish on Pokemon in the long term, but right now there's so much toxicity, right? There's so much fucking toxicity in the hobby right now. People are asking absolutely fucking redonkulous prices on cards right now. And like, it's just one of those moments where you're like, wouldn't you be happier if you had $500,000 in the bank, right? Wouldn't you be happier? Your quality of life would be way better. And then there's those psychopaths like me who are literally like, nope, I think I'm just going to hold on to this. And I like collecting, and I've always enjoyed collecting, and I enjoyed it before the prices were crazy the way they are now. And I'm not ready to let, the craziness of the hobby basically um, end my collection journey, right? I still think I'm just getting started. And I know there's a lot of people that are coming into the hobby that probably feel that way too, that they're just getting started. And I think while there's a lot of money flowing around in the hobby right now, it's got to dry up at some point. It's got to dry up at some point, and things can kind of get back to some sense of normalcy. But I don't know. That's why we're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about it tonight. Um, how much of a degenerate can you be? Um, Ray, glad I got Monday over with. Dude, me too. And that's what I love about karaoke at the bar. It just makes Mondays go by really quick. And that's also why I look forward to doing these streams. I look forward to doing these streams. Um, Now we're doing them Monday, Wednesday, Friday night. Yo, what's good, Josh? What's good? I love shiny things. I love shiny things. Oh man. Turtle, what's good? Oh, here we go. T Beastie, grab low pop stuff while you can. Right? This common card is low pop, right? There's only 30 of them in existence, so that's about 10-20K. That's like what everybody's doing right now. Beepers, how we doing? I don't know how many people are gonna be coming out on a Monday night, but um, I feel proud that we have some people here late on a Monday night. It is almost 1 in the morning. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. See, TBC, we would think the money would dry up, but there's always more people joining with new money to spend on top of us who've been here. Dude, it's wild. What's your best card? My best card in a lot of ways is my best card in a lot of ways is this base set Pikachu that I graded that got a PSA 10. That's like one of my best cards. I love it. It's, basically worthless raw, and I got it to Gem Mint, and it's a 10. It's like one of my favorite cards in my collection. I don't talk about that a lot, but I have a lot of crazy stuff. Like, to be honest, I have a lot of crazy stuff, but I like the little cards, right? I like the little cards. And I think even in times like this, you can embrace, you know, the little plays and being smarter with your money. And even with grading, being smarter with grading. There was this one clip I watched, and it was talking about how the grading costs going up are actually good for the hobby because it forces people to be more selective. Um, and that can be a good thing, right? For people, like especially like myself who want to submit a bunch of stuff to get graded. And honestly, I should just be picking out, a dozen cards to send a PSA. I never do that, but I got to start doing small submissions to PSA. I got to see if they're still really, really harsh or if you can still have stuff fly under the radar to get graded. Also, outside of all these insane PSA 10 prices, there's still a lot of awesome cards to collect, and I think it's easy to be in in an echo chamber where we're all bouncing off of each other, how annoying these prices are, how crazy these prices are. But the reality is, like, there's still so much other stuff out there, right? If you're unhappy with one part of the hobby, go to another part of the hobby, right? It's not the end of the world. Um, you cancel your PSA membership? Not yet. Not yet. I'm banking on them giving us some awesome promos. PSA's been really stingy lately. They need to give us some dope promos. Um, I have no idea what that word is, but Fire Collection, I appreciate you. Um, Christopher Volonek, what's good? What's what's PSA? Public service announcement, also PSA grading. Um, but no, there's just everybody around me I feel like is liquidating right now, and I feel like I'm sitting in a house and it's burning down right now. Like that's genuinely how I feel. I feel like everybody's kind of abandoning their posts, right? And I don't know. There's just this gut feeling that things are going to be trending down soon, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter because I collect what I like. I'm not really worried about things trending down, but I definitely for a lot of stuff that I have that I don't need, it's definitely I wish I had the guts to just fill a box of slabs and just send it all to Z&G. I really wish I did. I wish I had the guts to just sell off everything, but I don't. I just don't. Um, Tim, going to a card show this Friday, probably do a bit of trading, condensing. Yeah, like slimming down your collection is an art form, right? And I'll do that. That's why Collecticon is great for me every year, is because I'll go there and even at 70-80%, just to be able to get rid of stuff so quickly. It's nice to be able to go there and just liquidate stuff, right? And walk out with a fat stack of cash. It feels nice. But usually when I go to Collecticon and I'm selling stuff, it's like modern graded stuff that's easy to find, or it's sealed booster boxes that I just don't need that I'm getting rid of. I can't imagine actually like going and liquidating like my grails. I can't imagine doing that, but like I'm like, could you do it again? Could you build it back up again? And I just, dude, it took so much energy to get it where it is today. So I have nothing but admiration and respect for the people that are able to just let go of this stuff, right? It's only cardboard, but no idea. Lily Frost, hey man, liquidating here, but only because there's bills to pay. Yeah, and then that's the other reality. Like, we can all hold on to this stuff hoping it goes up in value, but the reality sets in. Your mortgage comes up, your bills come up, your car breaks down. Is there enough money flowing in the hobby to continually keep it propped up? Probably not. Um, no, Grail stay at home for sure. Just a dude. Grading prices will go back down. They're trying to slow down submissions. I hope you're right. I think that's definitely a valid point. But I also think it's good for people to have to pay more for what they're sending in. It's not just people just throwing money at PSA and sending them so much shit to grade, right? So it's probably for the best. And I think a lot of the smart people in the hobby right now, right? Like if you got to send a grail in and get graded, send it in and get graded. But I think a lot of people right now are waiting, like me. They're waiting with a grading pile. Getting ready to send stuff in. Um, Other guys reference Low Kirkenly Fire. Low Kirkenly Fire. Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing the kids are doing these days. That's really I have no idea what that is. Charlie Kirky. I just hit the Berkey. That's I fuck with it. It rhymes. Um, but for anybody here that's collecting Pokemon, do you have any questions? Is there anything that's on anybody's mind? Any trends you see? Any things you'd like to be covered? Tomorrow I have to have a fresh video. I have no clue. I have no clue what I'm gonna do a video on, but I liked getting up today and kind of having a video in my head that I wanted to do, and I want to be better at that every single day. And talk about the shit people really want to be talked about right now. Um, over my head too. Yo, what's good, doctor? I appreciate your amazing Matrix thumbnail. It's being put to good use. Um, is it time right now though? Is it time right now to be letting go of everything, and not be so attached to this stuff, right? Like, maybe I have a deeper problem that I'm like it's so hard for me to let go of this stuff. All it is stuff, right? Maybe at the core of it, I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I like to consistently refer to myself as a collector, and I think there's a little bit of hoarder in all of us, right? We have like a bunch of shit that we really don't need, but I don't know. I'm also like, dude, like people are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to cash out right now, but sometimes when you see the vision long term in something, other people are just not they're not going to see that same vision. And I think we're at the beginning of something really great and also tragic. It is the beginning of Pokemon really having this massive amount of appeal and demand and super mainstream. Um, and at the same time, it is the end of a lot of cards being available to collectors, right? Um, a lot of people probably feel broke right now. Like a lot of people looking at these cards probably feel broke right now. But the prices on a lot of stuff right now, it's just I mean, we can keep saying it, but it's absolutely ridiculous and it's not sustainable probably. We should see some kind of correction from where we are right now. We're possibly in like a peak of this market. And at the same time, in 10 years, it's going to be a whole different monster, right? And it just pays to be lazy, right? It's probably better to just wait it out and see what's in store for us in the next 10 years. But the peace of mind that you get from having cash right now, like the liquidity to have like really a lot of capital at your disposable, or just a lot of capital that you can just sit on, it brings your stress levels down, makes your life better, right? Like that's where I struggle. I'm like, dude, like no matter where this stuff goes value wise, is it worth the stress that you're constantly under week to week, paycheck to paycheck? Pay the mortgage, pay the bills, buy a couple cards, rinse and repeat, pay off my credit card, do it again, do it again, do it again. I can't remember the last time I was like super, super liquid in this hobby and actually had, a chunk of change, right? A very real cushion. And so some people probably think, oh, it was just a matter of time until Orion cracked. And I'm not saying that I'm cracking. I'm just saying, like, I'm still continuing to collect in this craziness, trying to keep it sustainable. I probably personally just need to take a little break and just stop buying so much and just focus on content, enjoying what I have, and then come back to buying and collecting like I have been. But dude, it's just been so crazy, guys. It's been so fucking crazy. Um, you Pokemon vending big, bruh. Yeah, bro. Do you have game 7-9? No idea what that is. I have the baby. Lily, if everyone's liquidating, you probably should keep it for the off season. Right? And I kind of feel like there's some genius to like if everybody's doing one thing, do the exact opposite. But also there's a lot of smart people liquidating right now, and I like to think that I follow the smart money moves, but this is just one of those times where I just don't know if I agree that this is the time for people to be selling like some of their prized possessions. Pokemon's only 30 years old. If this is like, sports cards, could see this hobby grow for another couple of decades. But at the same time, you got to have a timeline, a time frame for kind of adulting and figuring out other shit. And honestly, I've talked about this before, but it's like, are people still going to want to collect when they're getting older and having issues? And so for me, that's probably where I would consider letting go of stuff, right? When I've had a good run, another decade in this hobby, and at that point my kids are older, I'm getting older. And I'm always gonna be probably making some kind of content. I'm always gonna be collecting something, but I do wonder what it'd be like if I basically sold off everything and just had a couple of slabs, like 10 slabs. And like how mind blowing that would be, right? Because I've been hoarding and collecting for such a long time. But I'm also lazy, so it helps to be lazy. I'm just waiting things out. What do you think about Gen 10? Um, the starters are okay. Um, the game looks really good. The game, like the graphics look good. The open world, the whole open world environment looks pretty sick. I gotta say, I definitely think they improved on the recent games. Um, Pokemon Phenom, I sold. I like the fire type though, the little fluffy pom pom. I like the little fire type. He's dope. I fuck with him. Um, Phenom, I sold 2 of my e-reader 10 for the first time today. Both went to great homes that won't resell, and the offers were too insane to deny. I also vowed to. Ugh. I also vowed to never sell another e-reader. So got to get rich. Tim Shining Zard had a 2K increase since Christmas. Doctor, I've been so desensitized to the $8,000 to $12,000 range on a card. It's not even funny. it's been awful for a while now, right? Like we're going on like 2 years of crazy, crazy growth. And I think all of that started when tag teams started getting crazy again. Or at least that's the trend that I noticed. When tag teams started going crazy, that's when I was like, oh, dude, if modern is doing this right now, if we're seeing modern couple-year-old cards doing 10K plus, dude, vintage has got to be next up. It's going to explode. And should have had a higher conviction. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Um, it's past now. But I do think we might have a big opportunity here coming. Might have a big opportunity here coming. Could we see another bullish run for a whole another year? It'd be so crazy. Um, makes me feel sick. And to add to that point, like that amount of money, right? When you realize what our collections are worth right now, like people who are winning right now probably are the ones that are throwing everything up on consignment. I'm so conflicted right now. I'm super conflicted right now. And the clock is ticking. The days are going by and I'm up late thinking about like my collection goals and my future and financial well-being and like this is important shit. As an adult, it's a lot more important than collecting cards. That is the brutal truth of it. Especially when you're like me, you have, wife, kids, you got family, you got to provide for everybody, right? It's super risky to continue collecting in this environment. But I think I've just been spending too much recently. So, and maybe that's what'll happen. Just, people will pull back, new people will come in. Yeah, it's such a speculative bubble right now. Um, and I still believe it's a safe place to have your money. Yeah, the 10 to $20,000 price range on all these cards. It's absolutely mind blowing. It's just gonna get worse. Not gonna lie, Logan Paul fucked y'all. Like I don't even think it was Logan Paul at this point, bro. This has been happening. Logan Paul's. I don't even think. I mean, yeah, maybe the Logan Paul stream had some impact on the market, but I think it's just the environment, right? We've been creating this environment of just constant upwards growth, and it's just happening so fast. Um, it's the whole community, right? It's everybody. Thought I'd put Delta Zard in my dream list, not anymore. The Delta Zard was a big one for me too. I think you're talking about the crystal. I think you're talking about the crystal Charizard, the Crystal Guardians. Sizemore, great stream as always, man. Thank you. Hitting the sheets. Yeah, you got it, bro. You got it. And I know a lot of people are gonna be tired. Like this is a late night stream. I figure Mondays are gonna be a little bit light. I figure Wednesdays we're gonna have a better, our typical crowd. And then I think Fridays are probably gonna be when we have the most fun. But I hate how tired I am off work because like I genuinely looked forward to this stream. Uh, stand on strike with everybody else till the scalping goes down. Can I see your best card? 50th anniversary. I sell all. And like, bro, if everybody decides to sell at the same time, things will dump. I wonder if it's just really a couple very, very wealthy people that are buying up all these cards, right? Because we have no idea who's buying up all these cards, right? But somebody with a lot of expendable wealth could make it look like this stuff just keeps on going up, keeps getting crazy. Um, my best card is not around me right now, but it's a first edition Charizard. And I feel so lame saying that at this point. Like it was so cool when no one was going after cards like that, right? When no one was spending the kind of money people are spending now. Can't imagine spending 70 grand on a PSA 9 first edition Zard right now. Um, whew. Two killer, bro. How much did you spend collecting all the stuff, dude? I don't even know, and that's the truth. I don't keep a spreadsheet. I don't keep track of how much I spend on all this stuff, and that's what makes me feel even more guilty. Is like I know everything is up. So even if I don't track anything coming into my collection, I know that everything right now is up so much. It would be such a smart decision to let a lot of it go right now. But again, we're gonna follow through. We're gonna see the vision. Another 10 years at least, right? Not a year down the line when things are crazier, not 2 years down the line when things are crazier. 10 years from now, I will be 41 years old. Be crazy to think that I'll probably still be doing these streams, but I'll be 41 years old. And at that point, if I look back, I'm probably going to think, damn, dude. Instead of, having a couple hundred grand potentially, I could be a multi-millionaire, right? Which when it's the cards versus being a multi-millionaire, which I don't know, maybe my attitude will be different. Maybe it's crazy. Like you want Pokemon to be hot, and then once it's hot, it's like you just don't care anymore. Um, let's see. Yo, I appreciate the super chat. Rocco. Orion just made a deal for the shiny Garchomp from Plasma Freeze. Oh my god, that's a huge card. In a 10 for 2 Evolving Skies booster boxes and 3,300 cash. Ooh, congrats, my guy. Congrats. That is huge. That is huge. What do you think you were in the what were you in the Evolving Skies booster boxes? That'll be interesting to hear. And I still have a lot of sealed stuff too. So it's a crazy card though. Everything in Plasma Freeze is super, super low pop. It's always been super, super low pop. So I can't even imagine what that card is probably going for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say like probably 3,300 cash, 2 Evolving Skies boxes. So what? 10K? It's a 10K card, dude. Hell yeah, hell yeah. And hopefully you're in the boxes a lot less. That makes the trade so much better when you're in that product for way, way, way less. If them booster boxes don't come down, everybody going quit within the decade. I don't think that's the case. I think people like me, they get sucked into collecting, and if they're at the beginning of this thing, they have such a long way to go, right? Like I got to do kind of master sets of all the vintage sets. I was doing master sets for modern, for ultra modern. Um, I don't feel like I really missed that much. Like I missed a lot, but I don't feel like I missed that much, right? There was the Wizards of the Coast, the mid era, and then 2016 evolutions, which I don't think anybody feels like they really missed out big time. Like I don't think anybody really feels like they missed out big time from like 2015, 2016, all the way up to like 2019. I feel like that was kind of an area where things were just kind of slow. I feel like I was really lucky to get in, and a lot of people might agree with this or disagree with this, but getting in during the pandemic was a blessing. It really was because there was so much hype, so much energy, and it really wasn't that hard to catch up to everything that had happened in Pokemon. There's a lot more going on now. Now you've got the whole Sword and Shield era. A lot of new collectors missed out on that, which is insane. There's like a fucking redonkulous amount of stuff to go after in the Sword and Shield era. And then you have Scarlet Violet on top of that. Scarlet Violet has so much stuff as well. just a bajillion IRs and SIRs. And now we're getting hit with Mega, which the cards are looking insane, right? The Phantasmal Zard and Ascended Gengar. I think people will continue collecting this stuff, but I think that um, when they start printing more, when they start having these facilities all set up, these if they're doing the deal with Excel brands for distribution, that's going to change everything. I really think that's going to change everything. People are going to be able to just buy sealed product, and it's going to move slow the way that it probably should move. And it's going to, I would hope, become enjoyable to just go and buy a box and know that the cards really aren't worth squat. But also the box is so cheap that it's worth opening it up, right? Um, we've been exposed to $200, $300, secondary market prices for such a long time for these newer sets. Well, not such a long time. Um, the past the past couple months we've been exposed to much higher prices than we've ever been used to, and I think if we can get back to, I don't think it's crazy to say MSRP. I don't. Not with the printing facilities ramping things up and Pokemon really fucking getting their shit together. I think there's a great chance that that is going to be bringing a whole new life to the hobby. And a lot of younger collectors that are probably really going to stick to just modern because nobody's going to want vintage at these prices. So vintage, we should see a massive rotation soon that's going to go back into ultra modern. That's what I think is going to happen probably. And vintage will have another cycle down the road again. Um, I like the 2D art of the starters. The 2D art of the starters looks fire. I gotta agree. Like when they make when they make it pixelated and they make it basically look just like the Game Boy, the OG Game Boy version, that looks sick. Steve, I've never been good at saving money, but I've been looking at my collection somewhat like a savings account recently. That's how I've been coping with not selling my grails. I kind of do the same thing, and it is just cardboard, but I do think if you don't see the potential for this hobby and the future of it after being in it for a couple of years, then I don't know what to tell you. There's still a lot of room for growth, and yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with looking at your account like a savings account as opposed to basically an investment account, but more like a savings account. Like I have the money tied up in these cards, but the market is strong, right? The market's super strong, so safer than ever to be collecting right now. It's we all know we'll be able to pull out money when we need to. Um, so yeah, I'm very deep in this shit. Like just let's be frank. I really have no liquidity whatsoever. Everything is tied into assets, right? It's between my house, my properties and the cards, and that's it, right? I have like no extra money laying around. And that's something in 2026 I want to fix. I want to work on that. I've been coasting on debt for the last couple of months using my credit card for everything, and it's like I get away with it and I'm buying and selling stuff and kind of making up for it, but first I need to get back to just the baseline of no debt because I'm still fine. I still operate fine. I'm still able to pay all of our bills. I don't fall behind on anything, but that's not the point. I could be doing much, much, much better financially without the interest tacked on to the credit cards. I don't see how I can compete with these guys, these millionaires buying these cards. If I don't put it on credit, I don't know how to get it. So that just drives me crazy because I'm like, the longer I wait, the higher these cards go up in price. Um, if you were to narrow down your collection, what would you sell first? I would get rid of, and like I've tried. I look at some of my sevens and some of my eights of cards, and I'm like, I want to let this go. I don't need it. But also, like, it's just nice to have those cards too. It's not all about the grade. So, and then I think about modern, and then I'm like, no, but I want to keep up with modern. I want to keep up with modern. I want to keep collecting that, and I want to keep having the chase cards from each era. At the very least, like the top chase cards from each era. I want to keep up with that. I never want to stop doing that, right? Like, I want the Phantasmal Flames Charizard. I want the Ascended Heroes Mega Gengar. I love those cards. Those are Grail cards. I would like to have them in my collection and continue, you know, continue having, continuity in my collection. I've got my vintage stuff, I've got my modern stuff. I like it that way. So it's like there's nothing really that I'm willing to sell. The only stuff I'm willing to sell is like raw cards that I picked up or found deals on, and it's just not enough money to offset spending and debt. So it's like the only way I can come back really and like quickly bounce back, like very quickly, is by letting go of one or two of like some of my prized possession cards. And I'm just like, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Fight that temptation, bro. Fight that temptation, bro. Like, keep collecting, keep doing your thing. You're doing good. I've never been good. Logan didn't make 2025 happen. The community did, for sure. Shay, everything up. Vintage Yu-Gi-Oh! Shoot, even Digimon. Vintage is going crazy too, and I got a buddy that's selling all of his vintage Grail Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, damn, dude, he made out like a bandit on that Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. Tim, not Crystal, the Gold Star Delta Black one. Oh, okay, yeah, that you're talking about the Gold Star Charizard from Dragon Frontiers. Paying that bad dragon tax. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Snarky, Japanese PSA 10 e-readers are still cheap, good hold, and beautiful cards for the collection. Very, very true. If we are gonna continue collecting, Japanese is definitely the move. Tim, I don't have any crazy e-readers. They're all sub $500. But even that adds up quick, right? I'm sure there's times where like, oh, if I sell a dozen of these, I could walk out of this store with $6,000 cash. Like, a lot of us really don't know what it's like to have that kind of cash on us. And I mean, I know what it's like to have cold hard cash because I get cash every night as a bartender, right? But I can't remember the last time I had like a ton of it in hand, right? It's always after a Collecticon. I have a bunch of cash that I go home with, and I gotta tell you, it is one of the best feelings, right? I think what gets me is like all of the stages that I have to go through, the steps I have to go through, the effort that I have to go through to sell stuff that I like. If you make it easy for me to get cashed out on stuff that I love, then that's an easy decision. But if I have to go through these little steps and take photos and list it on eBay and go back and forth with people, it's like that's not even worth my peace. That's not even worth my peace. So I feel like I may be a lazy seller. Got the booster boxes for 400 East. Found that Evolving Skies. Nice. Salt, how we doing? KJ, how we doing? Orion, Mailman here. I'm interested to hear how your claim plays out as it seems lost in transit. They jacked up my load truck today bad, so I couldn't even see what scanned onto my truck. Oh, shit. Damn. Well, we started an investigation. They're starting the search, right? Dude, it would be so fucking dude. I've never taken a loss like that in the hobby. So for anybody that doesn't know, I shipped and sold 2 Astral Radiance booster boxes. They cost me like $100 and some change each, and they sold for 400 each. And I did everything right. I like packed it perfectly. I did everything fucking right. And I shipped them out and they got stuck in transit. So, and eBay just said, fuck you, like you're on your own. And it's like, I know I should have insured it, but I don't know. I've been trusting in the USPS, the United States Postal Service. I've been trusting in like clockwork. Dude, I've shipped so many like really expensive items for like $7, right? $5. Like, I just don't care. And also, I I don't want to really call attention to an item. And usually when you're shipping priority with something that's nicer, I don't know, it might call a little bit of attention. Whereas I feel like doing the cheapest shipping, like nobody raises an eye at that. Um, but yeah, so far they started the investigation on that, but we're not getting anywhere on it. I'm screwed, guys. I'm gonna lose $800, and it is what it is. Like it's fucking bad enough that eBay takes 13%. It's fucking bad enough. Like I did 100K in sales this year. I'm on the phone with eBay and I'm like, I made you guys $13,000. You can't give me an $800 payout for this thing being lost in transit. Really fucking boils my blood. And since I haven't posted anything on eBay, I'm literally leaving my eBay alone for the time being. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop grinding, but yeah, I'm not messing with that for a minute. Um, value was 5,300 last year, and sold have been around 7K this year, so I could see a lot more growth in it. KJ manually sorted them. That's tough. Tim, man, if I'd kept the XY stuff sealed, the XY stuff sealed for sure, worth a ton of money. Um, James, how we doing? Thoughts on the new Pokemon game coming out in a couple days? It got super good ratings. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't even need to look at the ratings. Like literally, if you look at the debut of the game and like people seeing it screened, dude, the game looks fire, bro. Those underwater shots, you'll be able to like fucking hunt Pokemon underwater. Like Pokemon's definitely improving. The games are definitely improving in a lot of respects. Um, Hypothermia, what's good, legend? Jacob Torres, why do you feel you have to compete with those guys? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Um, I'm a competitive person naturally, and I think when I got into the hobby, there were a lot of cards that I kind of thought that I was never gonna own. Like it's really cliche and kind of corny to be like, never thought I would own this card in hand, but I've really been working my ass off, and I just thought eventually, I'll have some of the nicest cards in the hobby, and I'll feel, um, I don't know, complete fulfillment. And you guys know better than anybody. You're never complete. You're always collecting. There's always something else. Um, so that's definitely an internal thing that I struggle with, like not being happy with what you've got. You know, what is the comparison is the thief of joy, right? It's not just competitive, but it's also like comparing to what everybody else is doing. And you just can't do that. And I'm just slowly but surely learning to just do my own thing. And not worry so much what everybody else is doing. Um, it's a little hard. It's a little hard though. It's a little hard to watch some of the cards that I never got, and people posting them, and it just it's that inner child in me that's just like trying to have everything, right? I'm not sure how to explain it, but I just keep looking at that. Why do you feel like you have to compete with those guys? Dude, I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you. Um, in the very beginning, collecting for me was this harmless thing that was really just kind of just not well researched and not well organized or planned. Um, but I was so happy, guys. Like I was just so happy to be collecting. And I think I lost, somewhere along the way, I lost that like that special spark of just being excited about anything and everything Pokemon. Um, and I went through a period, a brief period, month, 2, 3 months, maybe even you could call it, where I just like really wasn't that connected to the hobby at all. And a lot of that was, feeling like I was falling behind, feeling like I wasn't making content, feeling like I was missing out on all, these dope ass cards. And a lot of that was because I was saving for our house for my family. Um, but so much FOMO. Anyways, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we got the house. I did what was best for my family, and I still managed to keep every single fucking Grail card that I have, and I'm damn proud of that. And that's something I have to keep reminding myself that I'm damn proud of it, because that shit was really, really tough. Several times, last year we were saving for a house, and I was just like, God damn it, I'm gonna have to sell some of these cards. And like, big whoop. You trade the cards for a house. You can't go wrong there. But now that I'd finally gotten some of these cards, and the amount of stress and just anxiety that I went through trying to achieve some of these cards, it's so much more than just getting a dollar amount. It's like I look back on a point in my life where I was successful and, things were working out for me. And that's what these cards represent. They represent this life that I've been building for myself. That's what the cards represent. Maybe I feel like if I sell them, I'm gonna lose that part of myself, like that. Um, just being proud of myself, really. Oh man, I just don't make any sense when it gets this late. I don't make any sense. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just brain dead. I'm just tired from working. MJ Silver and Gold 151 about to go crazy. Keep collecting your 151. Hold on to it forever, all right? Don't worry about liquidating right now. Hold on to your 151. 151 is an amazing set. It's gonna do big things. I'm joking, but I'm also being dead serious. Like 151 is a crazy good set, and it's gonna do so well long term. Shrimp or fish? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with fish because I had some fried catfish the other night. If y'all never had fried catfish, dude, you're not living. You are not fucking living. Fried catfish is honestly one of the most banging things ever. One of the people that does food at the bar, they like set up a food truck. They do wings and tacos, but they do these catfish. They do these fried catfish sliders, and they're just gas. Gotta try it. Um, Chase, how we doing? Hypo, I don't know how you do it, Orion. Skyridge Zard and Gengar have skyrocketed so much, so it would be so hard not to sell. Could make 100K possibly. So, because I'm in the situation I'm in and I have heavy debt and I have I have an excess of stuff, um, it's really hard. It's really hard. But when I bought that Skyridge Gengar and it was a pop 100, I kind of knew that it was going to be $100,000. And I'm kind of surprised that the Skyridge Zard, with all the craziness in this hobby, I'm kind of surprised the Skyridge Zard hasn't already hit 100K. Man, I bet the vendor that sold his entire Skyridge collection, I would think he's probably kicking himself right now because a lot of these fast money moves, I don't think they're outpacing the growth that it naturally has, right? Or not natural, because a lot of it's getting pumped up. Um, but dude, those are my babies, dude. The Skyridge Zard and the Skyridge Gengar, dude. I cannot believe I have those cards. I cannot believe I have. I'm getting chills right now. I cannot believe y'all see the hair standing up. I cannot believe I have those cards. It's so much more than just the money. It's like, dude, these things are so fucking rare. They're so fucking rare. Um, I know Gold Star Ray has a Cosmo foil, but Gold Star Zard is just too badass. It's really hard to choose. They're both sick. They're both sick for sure. Dollar for dollar. The Gold Star Zard probably makes way more sense. You're getting Charizard, you're getting a peak Gold Star. Gold Star Rayquaza. I always say Rayquaza, but apparently it's Rayquaza. Rayquaza. That's what they said in the anime. I was like taken aback by that. I was like, Rayquaza? It doesn't sound like it's a Rayquaza. It sounds like it's Rayquaza. Um, but yeah, Quaza is really, really hyped up. I think the better value is probably in the Zard, honestly. Um, if I tell you one of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards I found in my closet, can you tell me if it's worth anything? Shoot. Chase, go UPS if you're shipping expensive. Ray, the Discord is worth it, guys. Yeah, that's another thing. The Discord is linked below. If you want to join our like-minded group of collectors, shitheads, degenerates, investors, we're always talking about stuff. Mainly trash talking vendors asking ridiculous comps on things, but yeah, it's a good time. 800 is relatively cheap lesson to learn, all things considered. It's fair. I don't want anybody downplaying the value, right? Because yes, I have a lot of valuable stuff, but I was raised in a Orthodox Jewish house, like not an Orthodox Jewish household. My mother was Orthodox Jew, so my mom was. And why does this matter, Ryan? Why is that relevant? My mom grew up in a household where every penny was accounted for. And my mom grew up, was raised like that, and raised us like that. And I am so far from being as frugal and thrifty and financially aware as my mother. But one thing she definitely pressed on me is like, find value in everything that you do, and don't ever turn your eye at a penny. Like like don't ever think something is nothing, because everything adds up. It all adds up. And that, $800 is, what some people would say is a water droplet, right? In the pool for me. But money is money, right? It hurts no matter what, and it feels kind of personal too. So it's just tough. Losing those booster boxes in shipment has been one of the toughest things that I've gone through recently. And luckily, my streams are doing well. The channel is doing well. And like, I'm like, dude, you're going to make that 800 back off of maybe 2 or 3 more months of content. Like, you'll be fine. Like, it'll be a wash, whatever. But definitely an expensive learning lesson, and or maybe a cheap learning lesson, as some might think. But definitely insure your shit. If you are selling a lot of stuff, insure your price, your items. It's not worth it. And then if they lose it, who cares? You get your insurance money. And so I can't wait to lose something again that is insured, that I get a payout on, so I can give you guys feedback on that, because I'm still skeptical of the whole insuring thing. I'm still skeptical they do payouts very easily. Malam, what are your thoughts on vintage reverse foils going from $70, $90 all the way up to $600 plus on auction? Was this happening? Nope. This is not normal. What we're seeing is fucking unprecedented. And you're talking about raw cards, dude. Let's talk about the graded PSA 10 reverse hollows. It's my Discord's been talking about this a lot, guys. This is why you should join the Discord. We've been talking about this a lot. It's like big time peak bubbly frothy indicator. Swear, I'm trying so hard to just be positive and optimistic and bullish on the future, because I still think there's a lot of growth. I still think there's a lot of growth to be had. But god damn, man, stuff is so crazy right now. We gotta see some kind of correction, some kind of pullback. Auctions cannot just keep breaking records. They can't keep doing that. Prismatic ETBs up to 200. Fletcher, prismatic ETBs up because of FOMO, thinking they aren't restocking anymore. And honestly, anything that's not even a year old, an ETB hitting 200 that's not even a year old, I don't care. That ain't right. Something about that just ain't right. N+1, the number of guitars I need is the number I have, +1. For sure. I understand what you're saying. I appreciate that, Thomas. Tim, catfish nuggets are goated. I haven't had catfish nuggets, but that sounds fire. Fried catfish with seasoned fries is fire, dude. Straight up, y'all get it. Y'all understand me. Y'all understand me now. Um, That's making me so hungry. I want the Phantom Forces Gengar so much. Yo, Chase, I'm like 1000% with you, dude. The Phantom Forces Gengar, that one's totally out of reach. I'm not touching that full art. Ain't no way, dude. I used to have that card too. I used to have that card in like PSA 8. I think I had that card in PSA 8. Or no, I don't think I had that card in PSA 8. I think I had that card raw. I think I had that card raw. Yeah, I regret getting rid of that one. I regret getting rid of that one big time. But also, to be fair, as much as I like that Gengar card and the colors on it, I think I got rid of it because I thought it was just a little goofy for my taste. And like, dude, I know the Skyridge Gengar is like kind of whimsical, but I don't know. I like a lot of other Gengars a lot more than that one, honestly. But dude, all the full arts from the mid eras, dude, they're all crazy. And Phantom Forces just in general is great. Ricky, that debt needs to go first, then start fresh. Sell what you need to and move forward. I've had to dump before and it hurt. Good luck, homie. Yo, I appreciate it, Ricky. Yeah, I got to get my shit together. And that's why I do streams and that's why I make videos and that's, I say that I'm going to do these things, then I go back on it and I buy a bunch of crazy shit. But just because you intend to be better at anything, it's like any addiction, right? If you've ever had addictions in life, you realize that you cannot overpromise. You say that you're going to get better. You're just going to try and get better. Trying to get better is a massive step. So I'm not a fucking idiot. I know how to pull money out of my ass. I'm trying to sell cards slowly and do it at the pace that I want to do it, and I just don't want to give up stuff that I've collected along the journey. Um, and I'm also like, dude, stop focusing so much on Pokemon to make money. Like just collect it, enjoy it, make content. That's the best part of the hobby for me is making content and collecting what I like. And so I've been focusing more, and not everybody, almost no one has the opportunity that I have where I can affect my business that is a brick and mortar bar, right? And I get customers every day. I have a chance to maximize that and actually bring in way more income from the bar than I will ever make in this hobby. But and so I want that to be how I pay off my debt so that when I do go to sell stuff, I'm truly profiting off of that, not just using it to offset debt. Anyways, dude, I just know how to babble, bro. I just know how to babble. Um, Smoke Tokem, how much do you think your collection is worth? Honestly, with the crazy prices these days, I can confidently say probably $1 million. I can confidently say over $1 million, which is just fucking wild. It's wild. And I may never have $1 million liquid in my lifetime. Honestly, I may never have that in my lifetime. And it's going to be less and less as time goes on, but I still may never have it because my money's always going to be tied up in other assets and buying more cards. And I think there's a good chance that I'm not going to be anything like I thought I was going to be like. There's a good chance that I end up collecting until I'm old. And I just just full on collecting for an entire lifetime, right? Um, we can't see the future, you know? Pokemon gets more popular, my kids get into it, they look up to me being into it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now guys, it's not about the money, it's not about the prestige, it's not about having this stuff. It is literally just all about like my family's all into it now, my kids are into it now, and I'm going to pass these cards down to my kids. That would be an amazing thing to do because not everybody can say they're able to do that. A lot of people are going to sell for the betterment of their families and being well off financially. I might be able to just get by, make just enough to live, to continue collecting, and so that I can pass down my stuff to my kids, which is something I don't talk about often. And I think it's kind of like weird. Like they're going to like their own shit. They're not going to be interested in Pokemon, but I could not be more wrong. My daughter is insanely hooked on Pokemon. Like today, she was just going on and on about how we needed to go to GameStop to get her a plushie. Like, I'm like, we need you to learn to talk about GameStop. Like, and you have plenty of plushies. And she's like, I want another plushie. And I'm like, all right. All right. Well, if my kids like Pokemon, then that's fucking dope. You know, we'll run with that. But it also means I'm probably gonna pass down a lot of this stuff to them. Um, Problem is, yeah, yeah. I just have to make the bar better. I have to make more money. That's literally been my like number one solution. It's not really it's a major challenge. Like just make more money. Don't work smarter, work harder, and that's not the right move. But that's kind of all I know. I just punish myself and put myself through a ton of long late nights and just expect that it'll pay off and will allow me to continue collecting and pay the bills at the same time. But I'm also feel like I'm getting older. I'm 31 years old. Am I gonna bartend for another 10 years, or will I be running the bar? And if you're running the bar, you're making a lot of money, but you're not making as much money, right? Bartending and running the bar at the same time, that's the ultimate dream, right? Because you're going home with cash. You're going home with credit tips too, right? Where you're not going home with them, but you get paid. You know, when we do payroll, I get those credit tips too. So it's like I get the salary, I get the credit tips, and I get the cash tips. There's like, if I play this right and get better with networking and getting more people to come out to the bar, there's no reason for me to even be selling on eBay. But I do that because I'm trying to do as much as possible. And I'm doing way too much, guys. I'm spread super fucking thin. If you guys can't tell, I'm spread super fucking thin. And I don't know what's holding me together, really. I don't know what's holding it together. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone some days. Um, I desperately want the full art. Um, Fletcher, I want Phantom Forces. I take Mega Rayquaza from Ancient Origins of Talking XY era. The Mega Rayquaza is sick. Speaking of Mega Rayquaza, we're getting a Mega Rayquaza, I think. Ricky, fuck, I hate losing money. I hate losing even more than I like winning. Yeah, I think everybody can agree with that too. Like when you lose a $20 bill, it bothers you so much more than when you make 20 bucks off of a sale. Um, Timothy, Ned Flanders, I'll take it, bro. Ned Flanders is a G. Fletcher, like the Gengar you got, the second top shelf behind you. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is he? Where is that Gengar? I don't even know. I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is. There he is up there. The Gengar EX. So that's a PSA 5. That fire red leaf green Gengar. It's so funny. I literally graded that just because I was like, this is just a sick card. And I haven't sold it because it's a part of my collecting journey. I bought it out of a collection that I bought for like nothing. Dude, I have some of my nicest cards from the cheapest collections I've ever bought. So it's really hard even when I'm up on it to sell. I'm selling a memory. So some of my cards mean a lot more than just the money. Um, but yeah, that Gengar's goofy, and I don't even like it that much. But I held on to it because it was such a cool thing to just find out of a dirt cheap collection. Um, 1 million, bro. Maybe it's time to offload. Millie, bruh, keep one favorite and unload. Live and love life. Your family is gonna appreciate the hell out of it. Doctor Evil, $1 million pose. $1 million. Oh man, S&P 1M and chill on 100K a year in FU money. Yeah, yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. 1 million is not going to go as far in another couple of years. People know that. They're going to look for alternative assets, and they're going to buy property, they're going to buy stock, they're going to buy gold, they're going to buy crypto. But when that stuff gets shaky, and it always does, that stuff always gets shaky at some point. And Pokemon gets shaky too. But I feel like Pokemon has actually been more reliable than everything else. But also, I was going to day trade at one point, so that's not necessarily true. And that's another thing. That's another thing. I was going to day trade. I was going to day trade, and I was literally going to use the day trading money to buy these cards. And that's also why I think the market could keep going higher, because there's people like that. The person that I wanted to be, I tried to be, and I failed. I fucked up. I had 160 grand pretty much in cash, and then I put it back into this goddamn company that I'm roped into called QuantumScape, and they just fucking dumped, bro, and it's a dumpster fire now. Like, it literally went from zero to hero back to dumpster fire, and I'm just like, Ryan, when are you gonna learn, dude? Like, with stocks, with the markets, like, that was an expensive $80,000 lesson. You want to talk about losing money, and I haven't sold any of the shares at a loss, right? But I I don't want to have to I don't want to have to flip my cards constantly to keep the hobby sustainable. I want to make money doing other shit. That's been my goal since I got back into the hobby. It was making money doing other shit to make it sustainable. Um, and I thought when we moved into this house and we were gonna rent our old house, and like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have so much money coming in. I'm gonna have passive income. But I didn't factor how expensive my mortgage was going to be here, and along with like not even counting the utilities, and then like our groceries and just clothes and just random shit I have to buy for the kids and my family, and like that's not that big of a deal, but it just adds on, and like all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, you are just trying to not drown, really. And that's mainly because we moved into a much bigger house. So, um, what am I trying to say here? I have no idea. Um, none of us is being fine with one card. Let's be real. There's never enough. There's absolutely never enough. Um, I forgot what I was even talking about. Um, yeah, from day one, getting back in the hobby. I definitely just wanted to accumulate. There was really no interest on selling. Like my eBay still really, I'm not interested in selling. I just list stuff that I'm like, I could part with this, but even a lot of the stuff that I list on eBay, I'm like, I don't even want to fucking sell this. Like, might as well take this off the market. One less of this card on the market. But I think for me, stuff that is lower grade vintage or just raw, and I know I can get more money for it raw, or mid-era modern stuff that I can find, and I feel like it's like semi high enough pop where I'll be able to find it again. That stuff's easy for me to sell. But just vintage anything is tough for me to sell, dude. Even PSA 9s, it would be tough for me to sell for vintage, like first edition Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, right? The PSA 10s are all like exploding now, but the PSA 9s are still dirt cheap. I would still have a tough time selling the PSA 9s because just the population of those cards in general, it is low. Like there's only 2 or 3,000 of them graded in totality. Like that's insane to me. So, and most of my good stuff is vintage. So it's like, no, I don't want to sell any vintage because I think that stuff is just so rare. Like I'm telling you right now, the PSA 9 first edition gym cards, those things are going to be 1,000, 2,000 a pop probably by this time next year. I fully believe it. With the 10s exploding, the 9s are next in line, and I don't think we even realize how rare a lot of these vintage cards are. We've been so used to them flying under the radar for so long. Anyways, um, Snarky, you give me faith in Pokemon. Vintage PSA 10 English can never go wrong, especially if you like the Pokemon. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so like regardless, like and people who sell, I think people that are selling off large parts of their collection, it's like, oh, I'm just going in a different direction. I'm upset with Pokemon right now. I'm reprioritizing. Whatever it is that whatever your reason is, right back to what you just said. Vintage, PSA 10, Pokemon, English, anything. You can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. And in some cases, even the English PSA 10s, you can't go wrong. So, not the English, not the English. I'm sorry, guys. The modern, even the modern, even the modern PSA 10 English, right? The vintage, sure, but the modern PSA 10 English also, I think, is a good buy and a good long term play. That's why, like, I haven't talked about this that much, but, oh, um, that's why the Sword and Shield alt arts, the Sword and Shield alt arts. Oh, sorry, guys. The Sword and Shield alt arts, like this Brilliant Stars Charizard. This to me is a grail, right? So this is where Pokemon is still very much alive, and you got to keep collecting and just dodge the haters like bullets, right? People are going to get burnt out in vintage at some point, and this stuff will become the vintage. People were saying it when it was really hot that one day modern will be vintage, but this card to me already feels vintage. I fucking love it. I can't get enough of this card. I should have been buying copies on copies of these, but also you don't want to be the guy buying every single copy on the market, right? It just feels weird. But my point is, it's not just vintage. I'm still trusting in the process for modern too. I bought that Brilliant Stars Zard in a 10. I also bought his Giratina in a 10 from Lost Origin. Those are two cards that I can so easily see, like, when all this big money moves out of vintage, I can so easily see the people who keep collecting what they like. It's going to pay off big, right? Like the Sun and Moon tag team, alt arts. I don't know why I'm hiccuping so much. The Sun and Moon alt arts that have done really well, those are way lower pop. Okay, they're way lower pop. It's part of the reason why they did well. The other part of the reason they did well was just hype and hype alone. A lot of hype. We can chop it up. We can chalk it up to numbers and statistics and pops and all that good stuff. But it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People are going to buy what they like, and the alt arts are the future grails. They are the future grails, and I think everybody in the hobby pretty much agrees with that. There's going to be people that are old heads. There's going to be people that only like old cards. I love vintage. You guys know I love vintage, but I'm never going to be just pro vintage and older stuff, and it's rare, and I don't care about every Joe and Chad that goes into a convention and they all have alt arts, right? I just think they're gonna be so popular down the road. And like Lost Origin Giratina, $10,000 card. All day. $10,000 card all day. we're seeing these random common reverse hollow stamp hollows hitting thousands of dollars, right? They're cool and they're low pop. But something like the alt arts, the modern alt arts that we have, they are so good. The artwork is so good. So there's where all the future growth is, I think, is in the modern stuff. And I think it's wise to do what everybody else is not doing, right? No one is buying up modern. Really, no one's buying up modern. No one's talking about outside of vendors just taking in modern stuff. And you know, not no one is buying. No one that is collecting what I typically collect. Let me just rephrase that. No one that is primarily collecting vintage cards and grails, they're not even remotely interested in buying the plentiful alt art 10s on the market. Um, but yeah, for me, I mean, these I bought some extra alt arts from my buddy because he's doing me 80%, which is a homie move. That's a huge move. It's a no-brainer. I'm not even buying these to flip. Like, they will probably get sold at some point, but in the off chance that my kids really want them too, and I have 2 copies or 3 copies of each, and I can actually, like, I can put my family on and, like, give my kids some of these cards that I think are grails, and they can have their own little modern grails, like, I'm excited for that. And I also think that, you know, we're raising the future generation, and for those of us that have families and kids, those are the cards that are affordable that we can pass down, that we can buy for them. Yeah, I'm really excited for the future of modern and the growth there. And I think it's probably a great time to sell all the vintage stuff, but we're just going to hold on to it. We're going to hold on to all of it. And we're just going to keep collecting. We're going to keep collecting. And yeah. Sorry, guys. Eclipse today from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Oh, it's 2 a.m. I'm about to see it, actually. My son just woke up. I need to make sure. Hold on, guys. I will be right back. My son just woke up. I need to see if he's okay. Oh, okay. What? Nothing. I was going to get him. Oh, wife is on baby duty right now. My son's got his teeth coming in, and just the poor guy is just fucking struggling right now. Like, he's waking up every hour and just screaming. He's just in a lot of pain right now. Poor little dude. Tim, I'm only trying to finish Black Star promos and Team Rocket First Ed. So there's an ending in sight. Everything else is for fun. I love that for you. I love that for you. Like, having a small goal is something that I feel like I wish I could have. I've always been all over the place in this hobby. Like, I love everything in this hobby. Like, I like the reverse stamps. I don't like them for $5,000, $10,000, but if I found reverse stamps that were nice gradable copies, that shit would get graded and it would just stay in my PC. And honestly, I had a ton of reverse stamp cards, but just none of them are gradable, really. And honestly, even that stuff, I'm like, dude, if these cards are going for thousands of dollars in PSA 10, there's like no reason for me to sell any reverse hollow stamp cards anymore. Like, I should just leave all my binders alone, because as we speak, those markets are rising. Like, I probably arguably should have never started digging into my binders, but that was one thing I did to lighten the blow, right? The Skyridge Gengar and the Sabrina's Gengar, when I bought those, and then I went through several different Lugia copies until I found the right Lugia copy. Finally, after 3 copies, found the perfect first edition Neo Genesis Lugia. But like, which has also killed me. I spent so much time trying to find some of the perfect cards that I miss out on so many other fucking deals just trying to get certain cards perfect. Um, but fuck, what was I saying? Yeah, some of these bigger cards that I bought this year, I definitely was like, dude, just start pulling vintage out of your binders because you're never gonna sell these binders, right? You're never gonna get around to it. There's so much money tied up in these binders that you can access. Um, but I kind of wish I would have just left it alone. But it's fine. The whole goal is to keep with the hobby, keep doing what I'm doing. Eventually, I can replace a lot of the cards that I sold with cleaner copies, and that's the truth. My binders early on, I was just buying the cheapest possible cards I could buy to go in my binder to complete these sets. And I wasn't going after more quality copies of the cards, which is fine because if I had gone for near mint copies of every card in my binders, I don't think I would have anything that I have today. I think I would have gotten so absorbed in trying to find raw, clean copies that I probably wouldn't have any of the graded cards I have today. So I think I made a really good calculated decision. I gave up modern master sets. I gave up vintage master setting pretty much. I still have all my binders for vintage, but I pretty much gave it up. Um, I gave up what else did I give up? I pretty much gave up theme deck collecting, right? And you guys, anybody who's been here, you guys know I have a bunch of theme decks, which is still amazing. I literally have not one but two legendary collection theme decks. That one is an open box. It's just rare to find those, but I have some crazy dope theme deck stuff. I should sell one of my theme decks. I definitely don't need two of those lava collections, but if someday I have enough money, I could just open one of those decks and there's a reverse hollow in there that could be absolutely insane. Yeah, it kind of drives me crazy not knowing what's inside of those. But yeah, dude, Team Rocket, amazing. Team Rocket First Edition, amazing. Black Star promos is a great goal to have. Everybody should have some Black Star promos for sure. I remember there was this one TCA gaming video from a really long time ago. And he was talking about what are some collection goals you think every collector should go after. And Rusty said that basically going after all of the Black Star promos because they're relatively cheap and they're honestly pretty rare to get in PSA 10 compared to how many are out there and how like abundant they were. And I think that still holds true today. The Black Star promos are a great place to collect. But man, there's a lot. I mean, if you're doing vintage Black Star promos, sure. But if you're doing every single Black Star promo, whew, that's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. Fletcher, dang, maybe I shouldn't have passed on PSA 9 First Edition Pharaoh. Jim was holding on for more popular Pokemons. Dude, the Pharaoh is fire, bro. I think we just had an auction end over like 3,200 for a Pharaoh and a 10. Which, dude, I passed up on that one for 1,800 multiple times. I just fucking knew I was gonna regret it. So this is what I did. I did what I've told you guys to do, and I practice what I preach. At least in this case, I bought a Misty's Golduck PSA 9 First Edition, Lieutenant Surge Pharaoh First Edition PSA 9, Brock's Rhydon First Edition PSA 9. I want to get Erica's Vileplume. I actually like the Vileplume. I think that card's kind of sick, and it's super underrated right now. Erica's Dragonair, I need that one too. I'm probably not ever going to get Lieutenant Surge's Electabuzz, even though it's fucking so cheap. Lieutenant Surge Electabuzz PSA 9 is like not even $200 right now. I think that's the cheapest one. Maybe the Ditto is the cheapest one. I have a friend, my buddy Billy, is going to source me a first edition Blaine's Arcanine PSA 9 and a first edition Blaine's Moltres PSA 9. Those are both, 5 to 10 grand PSA 10. And I got the Blaine's Charizard and I got the Sabrina Gengar in PSA 10. So some of the bigger cards I really want to get in PSA 10, but like I'm totally fine with going after everything else in 9s. Like I literally just got a big portion of the set hollows for the cost that would have gotten me one PSA 10 normally. So I'm excited about that. Old head that loves the Giratina alt. Dude, the Giratina alt is so good. My 15-year-old son has personal sealed collection aside from the stuff I'll leave him. Do I have the Giratina? I do. I have my second. Oh, I don't know why it keeps getting in the way. I have my second Giratina alt back in here. The other one's in my briefcase. This is the one I bought off my buddy that has the artwork on there. The artwork is pretty fire. It looks pretty fire on there. But yeah, dude, it's just such a good card. It's such a good card. And, oh, my Jigglypuff's about to fall over. And I think the current price for the Giratina is absolutely, like, valid. Absolutely valid. Giratina is so fucking good, bro. The Giratina in Lost Origin is, like, to me, it's kind of like Gold Star Rayquaza. Like, a little bit. A couple cards that I feel like really have that aura for anybody that's really interested in what I think of like the peak, right? The Gold Star Rayquazas of the alt arts. Brilliant Stars Charizard, I think, is just so good. Silver Tempest Lugia, peak. The Giratina, Lost Origin, peak. The if we go into the Scarlet Violet era, right? 151. The big trio PSA 10, which I graded all those myself. We pulled those all ourselves on those epic streams I used to do with a shitload of 151. For anybody that doesn't know, anybody that hasn't been here, I have some insane openings for 151. Like if you go back, way back in the archives of my channel's history, because there's a lot to go through. I have like back to back 151 streams where the only thing I would open was 151. And we didn't complete the set. There was one card I could not fucking pull to save my goddamn life. And it was the Illustration Nidoking. I just could not pull that card to save my life. Yeah, 151's amazing. The Bubble Mew is... I still don't have that card in a PSA 10. I am so fucking angry at myself that I still don't have a Bubble Mew in a PSA 10. That card is exceptional. I can't explain it. It's just derpy. It's the bright light blue. It just looks really, really good. Shines beautifully. That's a big one. That's like your modern grail for sure. Of course, the Lovebirds, the Latios GX. That's like a card that I feel like if you're going to go after these insane overpriced vintage cards, fuck that shit. Like, this is the moment where we literally say, all right, let's fucking take a step back from vintage now and let's jump back into modern. Because if you're going to spend a couple grand, you might as well get a PSA 10 Future Grail that's gonna have so much more upwards growth, I think, than just a reverse stamp card. You have to have people out there that are willing to pay these insane prices for the reverse stamp cards, right? And a lot of them are Pokemon that are cute or somewhat popular, but at the end of the day, I would much rather have a badass, top tier legendary or just like a top tier Pokemon like Charizard. I would love to have that artwork over a reverse hollow. I don't want to shit on any Pokemon, but reverse hollow Caterpie, which Caterpie's actually not half bad, but a reverse hollow Caterpie from fucking Fire Red Leaf Green, even though that didn't have the stamps. I love Rattata, but a reverse hollow Team Rocket Returns Rattata PSA 10, right? Like something like that, I'm sure right now is like $2 to $3 grand. I would much rather have the Giratina alt art any day of the week, right? It's not just that the art is so much better, modern arts are so much better, but overall, the caliber of Pokemon is far greater, right, for that price point. So, I think Destined Rivals, the Giovanni's Nidoking, Giovanni's Mewtwo, definitely big future grails. I've talked plenty about Journey Together, but the Whale Lord, the Articuno, and the Salamence, I feel very, very strongly about those three. Um, and then, like, there was a period where all of the modern illustration rares were like, we were seeing like cards like the Drowsy from base set. I will never forget this. It'll never come out of my memory. And the Drowsy from base set, illustrated by Komiya, that might be well worth over 1,500 now. Who knows what that card is worth? But I remember it went up to 1,000. It maybe went to like 1,500 or something like that, and then it came right back down to like 700 in a PSA 10 or 500 or 600. People quickly realized, oh my God, there's so much, Paldea Evolved out there. Also, okay, a really big Grail card that's ultra modern is the Paldea Evolved Magikarp. Haven't brought that card up in a minute. That card is insanely good. I wish I would have bought that card. I still don't have one. It's like one of the few like Grail. The two Grails that I'm missing from Scarlet and Violet era are the Bubble Mew and the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved. Those two I really, really want in my collection. You just don't see them laying around very often. Everyone is holding on to those two cards. Those I would say are some of the biggest cards in all of Scarlet Violet too. That Magikarp really deserves a lot of respect. It's super hard to grade. The artwork's insane. And the Bubble Mew just was such an iconic card. Like the Bubble Mew, a lot of people coming into the hobby, that was like their top chase card. My 15-year-old son has a personal sealed collection aside from the stuff I'll leave him. Very cool. Celestial TCG, single slab sealed all at all-time highs. We got to stay stacking. You got to stay stacking. And if you just keep collecting, like, I don't know. I don't know. Everything's been bullish for such a long time. It feels like it'll go on for another year. We already did 2 years. We have 2 years. We have 2 years of, like, steady growth. What are the chances that we don't get... What are the chances that we don't get another 2 years, right? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But a lot of factors. The new Pokemon game, great. High quality. We've had a lot of complaints in the past about Pokemon games being shit. New Pokemon game, fire. 30th anniversary, fire. Everybody's hype, fire. Fucking, Vintage is doing well. We're seeing shows are extremely well attended right now. Products still being cleaned off the shelves at every single store you go to. You'll never see Pokemon. It's always gone. And as much as we hate scalpers, they're an indicator of where this hobby's at. If scalpers are still out and about, still every day, every month, you never see product. I have not gone into a Walmart or a Target and seen a Pokemon pack in over a year. GameStop has had stuff, very overpriced stuff, but GameStop is the only place I've seen. And honestly, I live in kind of a bougie area, so maybe that's why the GameStop near here has stuff, because kids over here aren't doing that. Their parents are I don't know. I just feel like I live in a suburban area where like the last thing people care about is Pokemon, and that's the only reason I was able to scoop up a Phantasmal Flames booster box from GameStop. Also, I feel like with all these crazy prices right now, instead of thinking like I need to sell everything because these prices are nuts, I need to stop buying at these prices because the vintage prices have already been priced in. Everything is cooked. Like everything is burned. Everything is not even cooked. It's burned. But the sealed market, despite how expensive a lot of modern boxes are, we see some reprints. We see more product coming down the line. I think sealed actually might be a good time to be jumping into sealed. And just modern in general. Not just sealed, but just the cards that are in the sets, the top chases. I think... And what's crazy is it's not just vintage. It really is modern too. How are we getting Phantasmal Flames Charizard? Population like 11K and like 6,500 of them are PSA 10 right now. How is this happening? You have to have this is not the old heads buying these. I think it's a lot of newer collectors that they don't even know about vintage stuff. They're just like Phantasmal Flames Charizard, that's the biggest card right now. If I was coming into the hobby the past couple of months, my top 2 chases would be Phantasmal Zard and the Ascended Mega Gengar and the Ascended Pikachu, cuz oh my god, can we talk about that Pikachu is so fucking good. But yeah, those are the moves that I think people should be making. They should continue collecting and just maybe pull back on buying vintage, definitely vintage tens. But yeah, dabble in some nines, and buy modern tens, buy modern tens. And honestly, there's probably even room to say you should be buying modern nines that are like big hit chase cards, and if they're clean enough, crack them, send them back to PSA. Who needs to alter cards when you can literally resub to PSA, right? It's not that PSA is flawed, it's that graders are fucking human beings. If your guy has had food poisoning and diarrhea all day, yeah, you're not getting a 10 on that card. But if he woke up to something well, if he woke up in the morning to a BJ, right, first thing in the morning, right, he's given every single card he grades a 10, right? They're just variables, they're factors, right? And so it's good to keep that in mind with grading, and it's good to keep that in mind with buying other people's graded cards that don't get 10s, is that sometimes you look at a card and you're like, why didn't this get a 10? And it's like that guy with the Legendary Collection Charizard that he bought for fucking 10 grand, some vendor or something, and then they regraded it and it got a 10. And that just like, it blows my mind. First off, that Legendary Collection Charizard would be the last card I think anybody could turn a 9 into a 10. But it happened. It just happened. So there's room for errors to be made, and there's an opportunity just in that alone. The opportunity in buying PSA 9s that are super dumb clean that have a potential to regrade, that is something special. You could even buy a really clean modern cert PSA 9, send that bitch to BGS, get yourself a 9.5 and gain value from that 9, right? Like a lot of people right now are collecting BGS, a lot of people are collecting CGC, and this is because the PSA market is just so wild. There's more opportunity now in some of these other grading companies that we would have not even bat an eye at before, especially BGS, dude. BGS is the move right now. If you can't find the cards you want that are vintage for the prices you want, I guarantee if you look at BGS, they're a little bit more lenient on grades. They also have, a ton of like, they have all those subgrades, right? And so there's levels to this shit. But they grade pretty lenient, and you can buy some really nice Beckett slabs. And I personally am a big fan of Beckett slabs. I've always thought they were really nice. Same thing with CGC. CGC pristines, CGC 10s, CGC 9s, right? There's definitely other things to look at in the hobby instead of the shit that everyone is looking at right now, which is just low pop everything. Um, how you get the background on these Zard? So that I have no idea. My buddy, I bought those off him. He had the arts on a ton of them. I took half of the arts out of the slabs because a lot of them I just don't want the art on there. But I kept the Giratina because it was cool. I kept the Zard because it was cool. Um, but shit, I got a modern PSA 9 Zard above me right now. I've got 2 10s and I've got that modern 9 right there. You might ask, well, why do you have a 9 if you have 2 10s? Because I just love the art. And honestly, we're going to see prices of the 9s probably shoot up this time next year. A lot of the 9s are going to be really expensive too. Um, in fact, all the times I graded and I got 9s and immediately wanted to get rid of them, I regret that. I actually regret that. I didn't get much for those cards. It would have been so much better to just sit on them, because even the modern 9s will find their place in time, right? You cannot lose in grading, even getting 9s, I feel like, anymore. Um, Now modern 8s, you're fucking cooked. You're really cooked. Um, But I think the backgrounds, you can get those off of Amazon or something. I don't know. They're very specific art backgrounds, so I don't know if there's somebody that makes them for all the popular alt arts, but I imagine they got it off Amazon. Chase, I spend way too much time looking for near mint raw. Exactly, dude. The amount of time, the amount of like, because I would do the same shit when I was looking for stuff that I wanted to be super clean for my binder, dude. It would be just stressful looking for days and days and days. The grade, you're paying for the reassurance. You're paying for the peace of mind. And sometimes you still get wrecked. You're still not happy with what PSA gave a card, but at least you have a kind of a good idea of what you're getting yourself into. Whereas you might pay top dollar to get a card that's raw, and then what do you fucking know? It has a big crease in it, right? Um, my vintage collection being unfinished. Um, got 5 XY boxes this weekend. Stay stacking nice. Um, Richard is here. Pink, 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 pink. Eat, sleep, and play. Do you think Phantasmal's art will be a good long-term hold? I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to say it one time only. Phantasmal Flames Charizard will be one of the most iconic cards of this era. And we've seen really, really steady prices in the 1800 range. If you can get that card for 1500 to 1700, somewhere in that range, if you get lucky enough to grab one of those, which is not hard, right? The vendors are paying that much when people turn them in. But if you can get one for 1500, 1600, that card is so good. It's going to do so well long term. It doesn't even fucking matter what the pop is. That card is a perfect example that no one gives a flying fuck what the pop is. They're just buying the shit out of that card. Um, hot take: best card design since Lost Argentina. I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. Like pound for pound, dude. The Phantasmal's art is so freaking good. Like, dude, it puts the Moonbreon to shame in my opinion with those tacky ass VMAX clouds. Um, I hated the gimmicks, bro. I hated the hot take. Bubble is overrated. No, I don't think it's a hot take. I think some people are really gonna like Mew. Some people are really gonna like Bubble Mew. And damn, my daughters keeps messing with my glasses. I can tell they're all messed up. Um, uh, Bubble Mew is kind of overrated. And it never even had a chance to cook. Like it just fucking took off. So it sucks. Because still don't have one. Who knows when I'm gonna get one of those. Um, would would the modern high pop comparing to vintage hinder price the price growth over time? Got a lot of modern sealed that people are holding. Will more open, more population? It doesn't work that way though. It honestly doesn't work that way. A lot of the population has already been priced in, right? It's been factored in. There's a lot of products still out there, but those alt arts are fucking hard to pull. They're hard as shit to pull. That's one thing people don't realize. It's not just that they're super modern and there's more of them out there. They're hard to pull. They're hard to pull. They're hard to grade. Um, and yeah, uh, I don't necessarily think just because a lot of products out there that pop is going to go up, which is why I'm saying like maybe even better than sealed is just to buy as many modern PSA 10 chase cards that you like and get them now before they even get more wild. Um, it's tough though. It's tough, man. It's just juggling the two big pieces of the hobby. Well, um, there's a lot of toxicity right now. There's so much toxicity right now. Someone posted in our Discord, one of these vendors or sellers or flippers, whatever, and it was a picture of his wrist, and he had like 5 really fancy watches on, and he had a bunch of fancy slabs on a table, and it was like, "Bet you wish you could be like me," or something like that, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is like some of the worst shit I've seen in a minute," right? Like, do you flex all you want, but don't also tear people down kind of in a way at the same time. And it's funny, people are now treating Pokemon like it's like this massive like bragging right thing, which it's always been a bragging right for the nerds, right? It's always been like, oh, we finally have this card, and like the other nerds are like drooling. But now it's like a, hey, look at me, I'm a fuck boy and I've got more than you type shit. And like that's who's coming in. It's inevitable. There's nothing we can do. It's just gonna get worse from here. Um, my son told me to buy the carpet like $40 and I didn't. Biggest mistake in the past 5 years. We should all come together and build a bunker. Well, I can definitely tell you, like, everybody that's in the Discord, we can definitely work as like a pack mentality. Can you imagine if we made moves together? Like, call it manipulation, call it whatever you want, but seriously, if our Discord worked as a group, like actually coordinated buying stuff, like not buyouts, not buyouts, just a focus on a certain card that we all agree is awesome and everybody goes for it. The problem with that is that everyone's going to be looking for kind of the same card, and somebody's going to be bummed out. So it's hard to do that. It's actually really hard to do that. One card that I think we should all buy. I actually have it right here. I brought this one up a couple times. Where is my fucking where is that card? Sorry guys. Where the shiznit is it? Here it is. One card that apparently this card is PSA 10. This card is I love this artwork. This card in a PSA 10 is about $80. I'll probably be doing a little video on it tomorrow and featuring it. But, dude, the Marshadow is such fire, bro. The little Pikachu's head sticking out. I don't know what it is about this card. I know there was a lot of hype for this card initially, but, oh, dude, it's so good. It's such an awesome little illustration rare. I need that in a PSA 10 for sure. But yeah, we should come together and for like cards like that, for like super modern shit that's not rare at all. We should definitely come together and make moves, right? Um, I would hate for people to view that as like manipulation or card buyouts, but I think it would be more of just it would be fun to have, you know, to have the whole squad, like everybody like sharing that we all have our PSA 10 Marshadows. Like I don't know if it's just me, but I think it would be fucking dope for all of us to share that we all bought the same cards and they're cheap and they're affordable. That's what makes the hobby fun. Is like sharing that with all your friends and like all enjoying the same cards together. It's not all about, who has this, who has that, and who's got the most expensive, rarest card in the hobby. That's badass. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking like mad street cred. But what's even more badass is going after affordable cards that everybody can buy and we all gas each other up, right? That's the fire right there. Mine was not buying a clean balloon Gengar at 400, just sold on eBay. Silas, yeah, but if Gen 10 doesn't have the Slurpuff, the Slurpuff, the Slurpuff, oh, that's great. Ray, do you know how hard it is to fix the save file on an old Pokemon Crystal cartridge? Nah, you're cooked. If your save file is cooked, you're cooked, bro. I think it has an internal, there's a battery, And I used to solder. I used to solder. I used to solder those little. I used to solder those batteries into those cartridges, right? And if it's got the original battery, it's probably going to run dry soon and then it won't be able to save. So you have to solder in a new battery and then you're good to go. This changed in the Gen 3 games, Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald. The battery could run dry, but it still saved everything, which is amazing. I wish they would have done it that way from the beginning, where the battery was just a plus for like real in time events, like raising or hatching Pokemon or I don't know, certain evolutions. Um, Ray, do you, Fletcher, wonder if they're going to overhaul Gen 10 show with new characters. Oh, for sure. Silas, you have to change the battery and you lose your save. At least you'll be able to save it again after. Dude, it's so tough losing an original, like your original starter squad, your original team in a Pokemon game, and the whole file is gone. Dude, that's so tough. Both ascended Pikas are fire. Nah, there's only one ascended Pika. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone can like what they like. But dude, the ascended Pika, I need to see what that ascended Pikachu is going for. I need that card. And that's also just fucking sucks, bro. There's all these amazing vintage cards. There's all these modern cards that I want too. But I'm like, they're going to be around. They might go up in price big time, but they're going to be around. Lloydo, what's good? What's good, OG homie? Orion, what do you think about XY 124, the Pikachu promo with the Jolted and Electabuzz on it? It's badass, bro. Anything Pika is badass, in my opinion. PSA 9 lottery tickets, Tag and CGC are garbage, in my opinion. Trap and WoW agree with Opinion Chase. Tag's terrible. Billy, yo, you buying a CGC 9.5 and cracking it, submit to PSA, and hope a 10 is the move. Honestly, it's not a bad move. It's not a bad move. I feel like the BGS 9.5s are like a lot closer to getting a 10. And in some cases, 9.5s already got the 10 tax, no diff than crossing 10 CGC to PSA. True. Professor Fletcher, the Meowth from Phantasmal Flames is underrated. Agreed. Monarch Schmornier. Questions: should I hold or sell Paldea Evolved booster boxes? I'm going to be honest with you. Paldea Evolved is an amazing set. It has a lot of good stuff in it, including the Magikarp that we just talked about that fetches a whopping, like, I don't even know, $3,000 in a PSA 10. What the fuck is that thing fetching right now? Probably a lot. Paldea Evolved is like, it's definitely a staple set that you want to hold on to. It's not one that you should be worried about selling right now. It's way too early. It's way, way, way too early. I nominate Master Ogwe Turtonator. Nikki Blicky, would you ever get a PSA 10 Gold Star? If so, which one? Easy. Gold Star Rayquaza, Pikachu, or Gyarados. Those are probably my favorites of the Gold Stars. Hypo, Orion, not going to lie, I don't think Modern will ever be that good. The supply is just way too high. There's thousands and thousands of PSA 10s and Modern chases. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you right now, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. We already know it's going to go up. I do think we're going to see cards hitting those prices. And pops aside, I still believe it's going to happen. All you need is more people coming into the hobby. And every day we're getting more people coming into the hobby. I would not have said that. I would not have said that before, you know, being deep into vintage. But right now, it's just like, Dude, with how crazy everything is getting, it's people are going off of just scarcity, but at some point people are probably going to change their MO and it's going to be about art. What art is truly the best, regardless of how many are out there? MO2, this guy is faded. Oh, I'm just projecting, sorry. Bro, no, you're good. I wish I was faded. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired, bro. Um, like, and I do this is all part of the hustle, my guy. Like my videos never did crazy good. My editing was never crazy good. I don't have a super nice camera. I do everything on my phone. Um, so I have to out hustle. I have to out hustle everybody, right? And I have to make up for months of like basically being dead in the water on this channel. Like I've done a really good job of getting this channel to being relevant again. And now I just gotta fucking hustle, which means late nights and being fucking tired as shit. At the end of the day, it's gonna pay off. Monday night streams are gonna get bigger. Wednesday night streams will get bigger. Friday night streams will definitely be a thing. And we just keep rolling. And what's even crazier is that these streams are after I get off of work, and I get off of work really late. So it's pretty validating seeing you guys come out for these streams, even if it's only 20, 30, 40 people in here at a time. Still dope. Still proud of it. Hypo Orion, you want to buy some of my CIB Pokemon games? Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, Fire Red. I have them. I have them already. They're all on this shelf up here. I don't know how easy we can see that, but I wouldn't be opposed to getting more of them, right? There's so much other stuff I gotta go after right now. Cobalt pulled Zardo from Phantasmal. Dude, nice. Congrats. Happy for you. I will say it is about 3 in the morning now. We are pretty much 2 hours in on this stream. Another kick-ass Monday night stream. But did we even answer the question? Do we continue collecting and dodge the haters? Or is it a time we should be reflecting on our collection and our journey and maybe liquidating a little bit? Guys, we have a couple minutes left. Let me know what you think. And then on top of that, what is your absolute favorite comfort food? What is like the number one thing for you guys? For me, honestly, I honestly think it's a hot dog. It's just like cheap, easy, right? It's not really that fancy. It doesn't have to be something super fancy. Actually, we'll keep it cheap. What's your number one cheap comfort food? It's probably hot dogs and peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Love that shit. Never gets old. I'll be a millionaire eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Kevin, rumor has it the Mega Gengar was supposed to be in Phantasmal. Pokemon put it in an already stacked Ascended Heroes to compete with One Piece release. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'll tell you, One Piece, I almost sold everything in One Piece. Word on the street, someone who's friends of a bunch of big-time One Piece sellers. Apparently, everyone's going to dump One Piece, and it's happening as we speak. So, I don't really buy into that. I think One Piece is a really strong TCG, and I don't even collect One Piece like that, but I can see the live action was entertaining, shot really, really well. The anime's dope. And yeah, if One Piece just continues and stays relevant, I could see that TCG seriously. Like, I want to buy that booster box. That freaking that blue bottom booster box, bro. That shit is fucking dope. This just feels like a grail item to me. I know that I'm gonna one day look back and be like, I had a Romance Dawn booster box that I was consigning for a buddy that would have given me 80% market, which means I could buy at 20% under 5,500 right now, and I would literally be getting this for like 4,500 bucks, which would be a great price to pay on the first ever One Piece booster box. First wave, right? But fucking have a shitload of credit card debt, so I can't do that. Even though I want that box. Like it's already here. It's already here. I'll get a killer deal on it from my buddy, but I'm trying to sell it and just take 12% off the top. And it just kills me. It kills me because that would be like it already looks good right there. It's like the piece of my room that's like One Piece, right? It just looks good sitting right there. And probably that's the most expensive booster box I have. Yeah. Evolving Skies is dragging, dude. How is Evolving Skies not 5K already? Dude, with all the crazy numbers going around, Evolving Skies should be way more than what it's at, in my opinion. Um, I regret selling my Evolving Skies boxes a couple years ago. I regret selling the ones that I did sell. 600 a piece for those bitches. God damn. I think I sold like 4 or 5 for 600 a piece. Breaks my heart every time I think about it. Okay, let's look at what we like to eat. Let's see what we like to eat, and also, are we holding on for dear life, or are we continuing to chug on and find other things to collect? It's not all about liquidating. Maybe it's just about switching gears, finding something else that we enjoy more. Again, guys, if you haven't joined the Discord, it is linked in the description. I do these streams, one, to chop it up, talk about the hobby, get some extra content in at the end of the night before going to bed, pretty much. But I also do it to get exposure for the Discord. I want our Discord group to grow and be something to be fucking proud of, so that we can bounce ideas off of each other and maybe make moves together, like kind of, as a collecting squad, basically. Tim Hoddle, unless you're in a bind, spicy chicken ramen. Ooh, the ramen. You're hitting me with the ramen. That's a good comfort. Chase, Diamond Hands. Probably steak with butter. Okay, I did not see that coming. Steak with butter. You're a man of his protein. Trap Inch with the toaster strudel, bro. I might have to give it. I might have to give it to Trap Inch, bro. The toaster strudel goes hard, bro. That's also nostalgic as shit. The toaster strudel is nostalgic as shit. All right, hypothermia with the Dino Nuggets, bro. I cannot agree more. The Dino Nuggets are great. Also very nostalgic. Also, it feels like they have better ingredients because it's for your kids. So you end up eating them and you're like, God damn, these Dino Nuggets are like way better than the chicken tenders for the adults. Trapping One Piece sucks. Keep your opinions to yourself, bro. Hypothermia. I feel like if a card goes up a wild amount, not taking an insane profit would be a missed opportunity. I sense some projections in you, sir. Hypothermia, what have you been holding out on us? Have you been selling off your grails? Trapping GKs, I really don't get it. The question, though, I think it's business as usual. Considering I bought Evolving Skies ETBs at 40, I'm pretty fucking happy. Oh, hell yeah. Lloydo, Orion, you gotta go toke up and watch some OG cartoons and cook some munchies up. Lloydo, you are so goddamn right. And honestly, as much as I hate leaving you guys, this is the part of the stream that there's a little bit of just peace and calm that comes over me. And this is why I got to join the Discord, because we're still going to be talking shit in the Discord because I'm a fucking ADD degenerate. We're still going to be talking about whatever in the Discord. But yeah, as much as I hate the end of the streams and I feel like there's still stuff that I never feel like I do a stream quite right. Like, they're good. It is what it is. It's behind me. But I always feel like there's things that I wish to articulate during a stream. And it's just harder when you're on the spot, especially when you want to define topic. But it's hard to get it without a ton of people in the stream already. But yeah, I just kind of feel like there's unfinished business every time I end a stream. But yeah, there's some peace and calm that comes over me because I'm like, okay, you did the stream. We got the video done today. And you fucking, like, guys, it's not easy trying to plan 3 streams a week. It's not easy planning 3 streams a week. But it is necessary for growth, and it always brings new people in, and it allows me to talk to you guys as a normal dude and not with the kind of, the kind of face and mask of, YouTube, and kind of talking a certain way. And I try not to develop that certain way that you deliver videos, and pause, and I just try to stay myself. But it's hard to capture that in a time video, that I'm planning on doing in 10-20 minutes. So these streams really, gives me a chance to talk about things at the pace I want to talk about. But also, they're always late at night, and I feel like I'm like malnourished, haven't had enough food, haven't had enough to drink, and I'm running on E sleep wise, like I'm running on fumes. So, I'm always not as sharp as I could be. But I appreciate you guys coming out to the streams and supporting me. And yeah, join the Discord, guys. Join the Discord. Trapping. Def talking about buyouts. Kid and playa. I'm eating toaster strudel right now. Oh shit. No, and I mean, if it comes to that being called buyouts, then so be it. But it's like, if a Discord community of 400 people just like a card, and we all want to joke and go in on it, that's just the reality. And that's also what's changing in the hobby. Now you have these large Discord groups, right? These individuals in general with a lot of money that are making plays together. And it's like, it could just be a couple of them versus all of us, right? But we're able to do the same thing. Except the big difference for us is that all of us would be talking about how we all got in this card together. Like you're not seeing the like. It's not that you're not seeing the big picture. You're just kidding. But the big picture is that we have a track record of these cards that we all bought together as homies, and we'll always be able to talk about that. 2025, squad bought all the Marshadow PSA 10s, right? 2026 or 2026 they bought all the Marshalls. 2020 2026 March, we decided that, one card we're all going to go after. And like, arguably you want it to actually be like super affordable cards that everyone might have a chance at grabbing, because that's the whole point, is that we're all getting them so we can all share that we bought these kind of around the same time together. But like, I feel like illustration rares would be a really easy one. Like, some of the illustration rares in the upcoming sets would be an easy one for all of us to buy. The Piplup, the Phantasmal Flames Piplup in PSA 10, dude, we need to all fucking buy the Piplup. I know we don't all like the same thing, but that's all I'm saying. Like, it would be cool to all buy the same card that we like, in no effort whatsoever to resell. Just in an effort to be like, we were part of this movement where we were buying cards together that we just thought were fucking dope arts. Like, that was it. That was all. I wish we would have done that with the Journey Together Salamence. That would have been cool. But no, it's just me with all my Salamence collecting dust because nobody wants them. Venom, no, your kids are just test subjects. You got that hella wrong. Open the Derek pops in at the very end of the stream. Open the celebrations ETB now. Hypothermia, bro. I'm way too tired for that shit. You're gonna have to wait till Wednesday night. Wednesday night. And Wednesday night, if you can corral the troops and say, hey guys, if we get Orion $200, he'll open a celebrations ETB, which is well worth almost double that. Honestly, I'm not even asking for that much. I just want to be kind of semi-whole. But yeah, Derek, I appreciate the donation you sent the other day, because, like, seriously, it helps a lot. Like, losing those booster boxes fucked my shit up. And also tonight, Rocco with the $10 donation, whether you're in here or not still, that every little fucking penny, every little penny counts. Every little penny is helpful. Billy, do you regret not buying crystals and 10s? Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my regrets for sure. Absolutely. I I could have easily gotten the crystals and 10s, but I was happy with the 9s and told myself I couldn't afford the 10s. So, but the 9s are good placeholders. Maybe someday I will get a 10, and then I'll sell the 9 later on. Chase, I appreciate you. Tim, I appreciate you. Fucking Reddit does it in the stock market for sure. Trapping, I see low pop vintage all the time with very few listings. I might have to make a Discord. No, I fuck with it though. No, but seriously, like for stuff that we can all go after, it'd be cool to like actually go after the same cards and talk about it and be in agreement, right? Anyways, peace out. If you guys join the Discord, I want you to post a card that you think we should all go for it. That's super modern and super affordable. My bet is going to be the Marshadow or the Piplup. Those are fire. Also, the Wigglytuff. The Wigglytuff is also big fire. All right. Peace out, gangsters. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, and hopefully we get some good ideas for a video tomorrow. I have no fucking clue what I'm going to do for a video tomorrow, so drop a comment maybe in the Discord on what we could do tomorrow. Anyways, peace out, everybody. Have a fantastic night. I love you guys.